Hello, welcome to the Hard Money Podcast. Once again, I'm your host, Frank Gray, here at Lulu Capital with Justin Hubbert over at Park Place Financial. We are partners in this absolutely thrilling business that we do here, which is hard money, private capital, fix and flip. Justin, we talk to a lot of people that are looking at getting into fix and flip, and they've never done it before, right? And so they don't have a clear understanding of certain things that get looked at. Today, I was hoping we could go over 3 points with people. That would be loan to value, loan to cost, and after repair value, because those are 3 big matrices that get looked at when determining if it's a deal, right? Number one, is it a deal? Can it be done, right? Or if it's a good deal, right? And then what the terms might be, So let's go over those 3 items real quick for people who kind of wanting to dip their toe in the water with fix and flip.
Yeah, you bet, Frank. It's always good to see you, my friend, and
so
excited to talk about this too. With the new year, things are starting to roll, and the market's starting to heat up, even in these first few days. So it's exciting to be here and excited to talk about this. So let's talk about the first thing you mentioned: loan to cost. For people that are traditional buyers, have been used to buying properties, they're probably used to putting some money down. And in this case, loan to cost is just simply the total cost of the loan. That could be the purchase price plus the rehab amount, or it could be the purchase price of the land plus the construction cost, if we're talking about construction, and then just the amount that we finance of that. So a percentage of that we finance. When we're talking about fix and flips, we're kind of usually 85 to 90% of the total cost is what can be financed. So you're going to need somewhere 10 to 15% of the total cost down. Sometimes it's a little bit less, sometimes it's a little bit more, depending on the meat and potatoes of the deal. On ground up construction, we're kind of 80 or 85 loan to cost, so a little bit more money down, somewhere between 15 and 20% of the total cost down. And so that's how you calculate loan to cost, just simple, like the total amount we finance divided by the total amount of cost, and that's a percentage amount, and generally it's somewhere between 80 and 85% again on ground up construction, 85 to 93% roughly on fix and flip.
Great. And then the other metric that's important, I keep calling it a metric. I don't know what else to call it, but the other thing that we look at, right, is going to be, okay, like we're going to get this house, we're going to do some work on it. We get some rehab money rolled into the loan. Our loan to cost ratio lines up well. Everything's looking good, but we still have to make sure that we meet this after repair value, right? So what are our limits there on after repair value? And this is an important one for the investor, the flipper too, because you're going to want to make sure you can make some money on the deal. You don't want to go into this and come out of it like not making very much money or no money. That would be a drag. So tell us about ARV.
Yeah. So after repair value, we're generally somewhere 70, 75%, depending on the loan structure and the details. Most of the lending today is done off of 70%. I'll give you a little side calculation here that I hope people at home are aware of. It's almost impossible to be profitable unless unless the LTV, the ARV percentage is below 82%. So if you're above 82%, that's just really no profit in there.
There's no money.
You can do the math with the realtors, with the title fees, the transaction costs, the hold costs, the everything that maybe goes wrong. So we want to make sure you're profitable. So basically, we add in that extra 12% of margin if you're kind of at 70% to make sure that 12% goes home to you. And it's profitable.
Yeah, that's the thing. People, you have to remember that there's costs, right, that come along with getting this financing. Of course, there's the loan fees, right? There's points that are involved. There's some administration fees. There's some escrow fees, that kind of a thing. So there's those costs that come into play. But what often can get forgotten by newer flippers or people who want to start flipping for the first time is what can get forgotten is it's going to take a little bit of time to get the house fixed up and sold. Okay, so it's not, there might be 4 months that goes by. It might be 5 months that goes by before you can flip that thing. There's market conditions that come into play, right? The desirability of the home in the area and that kind of a thing. So, you have to kind of count that as well. So you may have 4, 5, 6 payments that have to get accounted for in that as well, which come, chop right into your proposed profit. So it's important to have all that stuff figured out make sure you're looking at a strong deal. And you know what? Me and Justin, we can help you with that. We can help you with that. No
Yeah.
problem.
And one other thing there, Frank, that I think is very important for everybody at home, just because you're like, Justin, I got this property done in record time. It took me 6 weeks. So I
Mm,
only have a month and a half of this interest. And the reality is you still got to get it on the market. You got to wait for somebody to actually buy it. And a lot of times, unless it's a cash buyer, that's a 30 or 45-day process sometimes.
right.
So you may have it on the market. You're like, hey, I got it sold 6 weeks to the day. But the reality is the close period's probably 3 months away. So we want to make sure you factor that in. And so that's why we put our loan to cost and loan to after repair value at 70% there. So there's some math and some logic behind those. And again, nobody's in this for practice. We don't want to see somebody just say, hey, you know what, I spent a lot of time and effort on this fix and flip, and I made $12, right? We
Yeah.
want to make sure they make 12% and not $12.
Yeah. You want to make sure you make good money and you're not just making, little to no money and having this stressful experience for like 4 months. That's no fun.
Yeah.
Right. So yeah, if you go into it the right way, though, if you look at the numbers properly up front, we make sure we've got a strong after repair value. We're confident in that. We're confident in the cost going in. We're confident in the cost of the repairs. Right, those types of things. We're future casting for maybe it's going to take 4 to 5 months to sell it. Maybe it gets done faster. Could get done in 3. Right, could. Right, but if you fudge it a little bit and then look at what your bottom line is going to be, and then you're going to have a safe bet. So, yeah. So there was something I was going to.
We financed a little over 9,500 of these things, and we've seen people be wildly successful, and we've seen some that struggled. And the underlying reason generally is making sure that you stay on time and stay on budget. And in order to do that, we want to make sure you have enough buffer in there to make a profit. When you're doing this, I would encourage everybody to kind of use either a 10 or a 15% profit margin at the bare minimum.
So that's what you're thinking?
Say 12% or greater. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I was going to ask you that.
If you get 120, 25%, that you got a home run there. We have the calculator. If you click on the link below, we can give you the calculator to see how much profit you will make, not only dollar wise, but percentage wise. But when you're doing this at home, you want to make sure that kind of a 12% is kind of the bare bones you want to make profit wise.
Yeah.
Unless it's just an absolute like quick turn.
Yeah. So that's exactly what I was going to ask you, is what you thought would be, the amount of profit that makes it worthwhile, to do. Mm-hmm. So, yeah. Have you seen deals that have made a lot more than 12%?
I'm so proud of a recent client. I saw the HUD on the closing statement, and they walked away with a net after interest and everything of $250,000. They closed earlier this week, and so happy for those guys. And maybe we can get them on a future podcast.
That'd be great.
This is only their second one, by the way. So I want to make sure everybody understands. You don't have to do thousands of these to figure out the secret sauce. I think. We just got to make sure that the math works for you. That's what we're here for, of doing thousands of these. Is to make sure that you don't go into this for practice, and we deliver the results. Obviously, the quality of the work is very important, but what we can do is help you with the math behind it to make sure it makes sense.
Fantastic stuff. What state was that in? I'm just curious.
That was in Austin, Texas.
So, in Texas, okay.
Leander, to be exact.
All right, cool. That's good. So it just goes to show you, those deals are out there, man. They're out there. So yeah, you just got to
are. And for those that are out listening from one of the coasts, and I'm familiar with Austin, it used to be the hottest market in the country. It's cooled off a little bit, and that still goes to prove that there's a profitable endeavors out there, profitable fix and flips. And it was a fix and flip.
Yeah.
And I have to go back and look at the data, but I think it was about 5 months it took them to do this. But it was a remarkable achievement. And it's just one of the success stories. We have dozens of them, but it just happened to be front and center for this podcast. And I thought we got to at least give them a shout out, and also let people know that the profits are out there.
Yeah, definitely, man. When it comes to the fix and flip thing, it's like, it's just same as that slogan for the lotto. You can't win if you don't play, right? You can't win if you don't play. You just got to get out there and play. Got to go and find the deal, get pre-approved. That's another thing too. It's really cool is we can offer pre-approvals on this stuff. So if you show up, maybe just get the calculator by filling out the form down below. You got a quick calculator there. You can put some numbers in. If you need help with that, you just reach out to us. We'll guide you through it. And then also we can get you pre-approved. So we can kind of look at your financial picture and say, hey man, we've got you. You're pre-approved. You find the right house that fits this kind of mold. we can act fast and close these things fast for you, so you can get going with your first flip. So, all right, well, Justin, man,
Yeah, I
thanks.
think I always compare this like bowling, right? The goal is to get a strike in bowling, right? To knock all
Yeah,
10 pins down, and then in this equation to be a home run. But we're kind of here. We put the guardrails up, the bumper bowling, that they put up. I'm
yeah.
not a very good bowler, so sometimes I gotta use those. And I'd like to think that the lending is set up to put up those guardrails for you to help you out to make sure you can bowl the strike and give you a little bit better chance of hitting a home run.
There you go. Good stuff. All right. Well, Justin, we'll come back again and talk more about fix and flip financing and other types of financing. DSCR. We'll cover that next week, right? We'll cover
Let's
DSCR.
cover one more thing real quick. You mentioned all
got?
three. Let's cover the loan to value. So
Okay,
we
loan
talked
to
about
value.
loan to cost.
LTV.
That's the total cost. We talked about the after repair value. That's
Mm-hmm.
just the value of the property after the repairs.
Mm-hmm.
And then the last one is loan to value on the front side. So when we look at that, you're generally looking somewhere, again, 10 to 15% of the purchase price down on a fix and flip. Sometimes if it's heavier fix and flips, you might be putting 20% down. That's of the value of the property. So if you find
The as is value.
The as is of the purchase of the value of the property. And so when you put 10, 20% down there, it could be off of some of the new value, but almost always you're going to get down to that loan to cost. So you're always going to need that. So I know you hit on those first three initially, and I wanted to make sure we cover that.
Yeah,
for
I'm glad
those
you
that
remembered.
are paying a lot of attention at home, the loan to value would be kind of that front side lending, and then the after repair value. There's two different loan to values, and then that loan to cost is just your total cost.
Love it.
If you have more questions, hit the link below. Reach out to Frank or myself. Happy to help.
We will help out. You guys have a great day. Justin, always a pleasure. We'll catch up with you guys next time here on the Hard Money Podcast. Adios. See you. Bye-bye.